Get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but get a mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you. Yeah, Richard Marks, cool guy. Comes in, talks music. We'll get into that. Alicia Krause has the news. She's such a pro.
I feel like, is it endearing that you haven't yelled at me, or am I not like an official member of the team because you haven't yelled at me yet?
I don't do a lot of yelling at people. I do a lot of telling people the same thing over and over again, which bothers the hell out of me. But I just realize it's kind of the new world order, is to tell people the same thing over and over and over again. But which would account for like 40% of my adult life.
Not half? I feel like it's like
close to half. Close to my half is having conversations with people about stuff that's been discussed quite a few times beforehand. But that seems to be the new world order.
And since you don't have to repeat things to me, we're okay.
Yeah, well, also, I appreciate you.
Oh, thanks. That's so nice.
You're a pro.
I'm going to be grateful for that on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
When you're like, what are you grateful for? I'm going to say that Adam Carolla appreciates me.
I like people who do their job well.
Oh, hey.
And that's you.
I'm sending this to my agent. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you do a good job. You do a job and you do it well, Alicia Krause.
Thank you very much, kind
By the
sir.
way, weekly op-ed at the Washington Examiner.
Yeah, this week I'm going to be talking about how teachers' unions and J.D. Pritzker don't care about your children. Surprise, surprise.
Well, what they care about is, I mean, this is an epidemic problem, but they get paid by the teachers' unions and they get put into office by the teachers' unions. And I don't know if you guys think this is as big a problem as I think it is, but I have two kids 5 years ago, and they're going to high school. And then they're told, you can't go to high school anymore because we're closing the high school. And then I go, who closed the high school? And they go, the governor closed the high school. And then I go, why don't we reopen the high school? And then the teachers' unions who pay the governor and contribute to the governor say, because we said no.
Yep.
I don't like that form of society. I would like a society where you took no money from the teachers' unions. I don't know why the teachers' unions are allowed to give you money, because then you do their bidding, which is what happened in Chicago. And it's even the CDC, Rochelle Walensky got totally corrupted by the teachers' union. So I don't want the officials that are making decisions to be corrupted by a group of people who don't feel like going back to work.
Son,
that's just me.
You were talking to the gal that was homeschooled all 12 years and dropped out of college. So I'm no fan of teachers' unions either.
And they're all the worst people. And
they really are.
Every single one that's doing the Charlie Kirk neck dance turns out to be a teacher. 2 days later, you find out she teaches elementary in Illinois somewhere. So not heroes, mostly cowards, and I'm done. And if you weren't in a union, I'd be fine with it. But you are. They love unions. They get controlled and put in office by unions, and then they become beholden to the union.
Yep.
So
and
I don't
what
like
really
it.
sucks about it is that it's our tax dollars paying for that union that then just chooses to elect Democrats, too.
Yes.
Anywho.
Who will do what they want them to do.
Anywho. Do
Yes.
you like to play chess?
And meanwhile, it hurts the kids, but that's not what they care about.
No.
That's what they talk. They talk. You know who talks about the kids the most? Nancy Pelosi. She does everything for the children. When she's not eating Haagen-Dazs in front of a double-wide refrigerator, she's worried about the kids.
Or calling Trump vile.
Or gaming the stock market. She's worried about the kids.
$16.5 million.
Worried.
That's what she allegedly made because of stock options that she made while in Congress.
She's worried about the children, though.
She should give them that $16.5 million.
Yes, I don't play chess. I don't speak a second language, and I do not play an instrument.
Oh, interesting.
All stuff that I've deemed me
unfit.
I don't have the skill set for it.
I agree.
Or the patience.
I understand.
Or the something. I know I can build a house because I that's doing something. But
and that takes
sitting
brain.
and studying, I can't do it. Yeah, no, it takes a
You're
certain
an active
kind
learner.
I'm an active learner.
Well, I bet you could play chess better than Kamala. Because we have this really funny video. I don't even want to lead into it. I just feel like you just need to observe and be in awe of the level of, I don't know, just unawareness.
Yeah.
Okay, we just got to play the video.
But to be fair to her, can I say this? There is a trap. There's a trap where it's like you surround yourself with black women and all they do is nod. At everything that comes out of your mouth, they go, "Oh yeah,
I think that's everybody in leftist media.
Yeah, oh yeah." But you don't realize someone is filming it, and then it comes out later, and you look like an asshole. Well, here's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Let's just say I just went in a room with a bunch of wild racists. And I was like, man, they shouldn't let these Asians drive. And everyone's like, yeah, And I don't know, was the Holocaust, did that really happen? And they're like, you go, Adam, you go. And I was like feeling good about myself, but someone was filming it. And then later on, they put it on the internet, and then I look like an asshole.
Yes.
Don't get used to the people in the room.
Oh, you got to think of the larger audience.
She surrounds herself with softball, like-minded cows who nod their head at everything she says, and she goes, right? Really, what you need is to get my friends or my family around you going, I don't know about that. I don't know. Be careful where you go there.
What about even registered Democrats that maybe voted for Biden and then didn't vote for her?
Right. Like you know somebody to stop you on your verbal retarded roll. Okay, so listen to her talk about nothing, and then listen. But it's
she says something, but that something is a straight up lie. As
right,
you're about
and
to
then
see.
it's just people around her going, oh yeah.
Was aware of my opponent's strategy. And I wasn't about to fall prey.
Yeah, I'm doing my black woman voice.
Or fall into those traps. And part of his strategy and those around him was to try and take me off our game and message. And I wasn't about to be distracted by those flames that he was trying to throw to get me away from my highest priority, which was talking to people about the economy and their well-being in terms of their financial well-being. And I understood the game that was being played, and I made a decision that I wasn't going to get played.
Oh, yeah. Do it in the voice. Yeah. Go. Keep saying retarded shit. Indian lady. Here we go.
Yeah. Three-dimensional chess. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
She was playing three-dimensional chess.
Right.
And she clearly lost. But she's bragging about it.
She should have been playing Stratego because she had no strategy. Stratego! All right. So here's a weird thing. I got a lot of thoughts.
Oh, there's a lot of thoughts to have just from that 150-second clip.
You may not feel comfortable with all of it.
Oh, God. You know me well.
Yeah, I know you well.
Yep. Just could we limit the level of the B word? And I don't mean black. I mean the other B word.
Now listen to me.
Yes, sir.
First off, if you watch this tape, let's just say, Dawson, let's just say you went into a coma a year ago and you woke today and I showed you this. You go, when did they film this? I go, 2 days ago. You go, oh my God, she's the president. Kamala's the president. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God, she won. She won. And I'd go, no. She didn't win. And then Dawson, you'd go, wait a minute, when did she tape this? A year ago? No. She taped this on Monday. Well, no, she's saying she won. She's saying she beat him with strategery. And he'd be like, no, she's that nuts that she's talking like she won, but she didn't win. This is like a football coach in a post-game presser up there going, listen, we knew they were going to try the onside kick to start the second half, but we were ready for them. Coach, you lost 42-9. We were on to their Statue of Liberty and their throwback and their hook and lateral. We were on to all of it. Yeah, but Coach, you lost. So she's saying she was on to him, and then they were cheering her on, but she lost, which is delusional. Now, here's an interesting thing.
I don't disagree. I'm not uncomfortable with this so far.
You're going to get uncomfortable.
Brace myself.
That's going to come. All right. The thing that's funny, and I don't want to make this up, but she's been on this book tour for like 6 weeks or something.
Oh, it's been a solid 6 weeks, for sure.
Maybe more.
She's got to lead up to the Black Friday sale. Christmas gifts for all the radical leftists in your life.
Keep that B word out of your mouth. So she's been out on this tour, right? And here's a phenomenon. When she first went out, she talked about the election and 107 days, and it wasn't really enough time to get her message across. And she kind of talked about Joe Biden and sort of basically starting in a hole. You know what I mean? She had disadvantages. She had to try to climb her way out of the hole.
Wasn't her fault.
Wasn't her fault. Yep. Wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
That was a month and a half ago. She's now talking like she won. Right? She's evolved to, according to my calculations, 121 days from now, she's going to think she won the election. She's going on a trajectory that started with, hey, man, it was stacked against me. I was left this deficit. I did the best I could, but I only had enough time.
I wish I had more
became a little
time,
short.
yada,
Right.
yada.
Now she's talking, I figured out what they did, and I threw it right back in their face. Now she's talking about winning. Or it sounds like she won.
It's delusional. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so what is going on? All right. There is a thing that goes on that I've been yelling about for a million years, which is the sort of procedural people, the people. I have said, I've studied women for years, and I have said that when a woman, like if you say, not you, you're homeschooled, but any woman I've been with where I'd go, hey, the cable's out. Can you call the cable guy and get him to restore the cable, right? And then I go out of town, and then I come back 5 days later, and the cable's still off, right? And then
I have that shit dealt with in like 5 minutes.
Homeschool. Then when I say to my woman, hey, the cable's still out, I thought I told you to see about fixing the cable. They say, defiantly, I called the cable guy. And then I go, what'd he say? He didn't pick up. I go, when was that? And I go, 4 days ago. And I go, all right, we don't have any cable. But I always studied it because I realized to them, it sort of felt like something. Now, we didn't have cable.
Like I did a thing.
I did
the right thing I was supposed to do.
It's satiating. You know where I'll see it a lot?
Yeah.
Women, as it pertains to working out. They go, has that hotel got a good gym? And I'll go, I don't know. I'm going to hit the gym before we go out tonight. I go, yeah, go ahead. Then at some point, it turns into the next day. And they go, I'm going to hit the gym before we head home. I go, yeah, go ahead and hit the gym. And then I realized after 3 days, no gym appearance, but enough gym talk to feel like, I got a little. Now, it's not that they feel like they worked out. They just feel like it was talked about enough.
And if you talk about it, you're solving the problem, maybe, even if you're not actually solving the problem.
There's a little bit of a satiation, right? So if you go, look, I'm going to go straight to the room, and I'm going to raid the mini fridge, and I'm just going to eat Toblerone and
skip the gym.
and mini vodkas. Then you're going to sit there in your own...
Sounds like a fun night.
I know.
Toblerone and mini vodka?
But you're going to sit there in your own shame.
Yeah.
If there's enough gym planning, but it doesn't happen...
Oh, yeah.
You feel...
And you just happen to slam the mini vodka?
I don't know, but there's an... Look.
Yes.
You feel a little... I mean, look, we've all...
It's kind of like how people do the online shopping thing, even though they have credit card debt and their paycheck hasn't hit yet. Right? It's that. Well, look,
we've all done a version. There was somebody who's sick in my life who was in the hospital, and I found out, and I talked to another person. I'll leave the details out, but I said I'd like to go visit the guy.
Yeah.
And they went, okay, he's over at UCLA, and it's a thing, and here are the hours and stuff like that. And I was just sitting there. And I was looking at my schedule, and I was like, God, I'm going to Boston. I'm going to Buffalo. I'm just, my schedule's just packed, you know? So like, when am I going to get to that? I got to get over to UCLA. I got to get the pass. I got to get up there. And literally 12 hours later, as I was sort of working it out, I got a text that said, you know what? He really shouldn't have visitors. The doctors are worried about germs and this, that. It's just immediate family, whatever. And I thought to myself, well, I'm glad I was on record as wanting to go visit. I didn't
the thought
visit.
That counts.
It's like I didn't do it. Yeah. I never did it. And I feel a certain amount of shame about it. I never did. But it was like the following morning, I got a thing that said, don't do it.
Yes.
And so now I get to go, well, okay, I'm on record. Or I tried. Or something. I feel satiated. Now, I never saw him. But But that's what was on a text.
Yep.
Right? So now, if I wrote a text going, I'm going to stay home and eat Toblerone and drink many bottles of vodka, I'm not going anywhere, then I would feel bad. Right?
Yeah.
So there's a like a satiation thing.
But she has people around her. Like Kamala in this scenario,
I'm just saying dudes don't have it.
You don't think so?
No, dudes are like, I want cable. And it's like, I called the guy and we still have no cable. Good, now we're assholes.
I think dudes totally have it. If dudes didn't have it, well, I think it's human nature. I understand what you're saying about women, and it could be with different things, but I think if dudes didn't have it, then we'd have a heck of a lot more billionaires out there. We'd have more entrepreneurs. We'd have more maybe cures for cancer. If like just humans naturally were like, I'm going to do this thing and not just talk about doing the thing, but actually doing the thing.
Well, I don't know exactly what you're saying, but I'm saying as it pertains to feeling satiated because you called the cable guy, but no one ever picked up.
Yeah.
Guys just get frustrated by that.
Like a to-do list.
And don't feel like they can check it off that list.
Yeah.
And feel stupid because now they feel like they wasted time and they still don't have cable.
So what you're really saying is everyone should be homeschooled by a Navy brat and an Eagle Scout.
Yes, because there's a certain amount.
Because then you get
there's a satiation. And so when all the ladies from LA City Council get together and talk about raising the poor and treating people with dignity and giving people a hand up but not a hand out
and
all
increasing
kinds of
our sanitation
and then
costs.
they go, now we're going to Chipotle, and they all break and they go home and nothing happens, but they feel like something. We had a meeting, we did discuss it, but nothing happened. That's what I'm saying. You can watch Kamala, who's she's the word salad.
It's
Kamala.
Kamala.
You can watch Kamala, the word salad queen, using her salad to talk herself into something that didn't happen. Now, somehow, she beat Trump on paper or has a moral victory or
she
something.
played the strategy. She strategized.
Right, but you can see where she's going. There's no such thing as a dude just talking about woulda, coulda, shoulda. He's just going, fuck it, I lost. I'll run next time. She's talking like she won.
I think that though there are liberals out there, men and women, that do the same thing. Like Pete Buttigieg thinks that he was like the greatest transportation secretary ever.
No, there are plenty of deep leg crossers, deep leg crossing men who think like chicks and do this. Yes, 100%. There are plenty of dudes. Gavin Newsom does it.
Yep.
It's all the pablum talk. It's the opposite of Trump. Trump's like, hurry, hurry, hurry. What's going on? Let's cut a deal. I don't want any of this. This is slow down. Let's sit down. Let's sit a seat at the table.
Remember all the good things I did? And it's like, well, what happened in Palestine, Ohio, man?
Right.
But he's planning on running in 2028.
Buttigieg. Oh, good luck. Yeah.
Maybe she said some funny stuff about him on the book tour too early.
Buttigieg?
Yeah, she pretty much said like she didn't pick him because he was white and gay.
Well, they do have
Could you imagine Donald Trump saying that? How much coverage it would get in the news?
They have a problem with gay dudes in that side of the aisle.
They have a problem with white dudes, I think.
White dudes and gay dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no one wants to vote for gay dudes on their side of the aisle. But also he's incompetent. So we got that going. He's the guy who let you know about racist bridges. So it's Pete Buttigieg. All right. So she's heading down a path where she's talking herself into a victory here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And then she will be the victorious endorser of whoever the Democratic nominee is in 2028.
But you understand what she's doing right here is not different than when she's asked, have you been to the border? And then she goes, we've been to the border? Everyone's been to the border. Have you been to the border? I've not been to the border. So you're not, hey, I've not been to Nova Scotia, but that doesn't mean I haven't been to the border. I don't even know what you're asking. She says, that's all part of the salad. Like, you are in charge of the border. You've never been to the border.
You call yourself the border czar.
Right. In your mind, somehow you've been to the border, but you've never been to the border. This is all part of the delusion of, I beat Trump using my strategic advantage, and I've taken care of the border, except for I didn't do either thing. And
it's rewriting history
in her brain. And then actually, the border, the thing that's craziest about the border clip, it's oftentimes people stick to a sort of narrative. I want the border clip, Andrew. And the reason I'm saying that is
It's a good one.
people usually pick out the big chunks, the meat and the potato of the clip, but there's often little morsels.
There's other things sprinkled in there.
Yes, there's little deeper things. And the craziest part about I've been to the border, I haven't been to the border, was the very end where she goes, I don't know what you're asking. It's like, okay, you're in charge of the border. What if I just made you in charge of Knott's Berry Farm? And then I said, have you been to Knott's Berry Farm? You wouldn't say, I don't know what you're asking. That she said, I don't know what you're asking at the end, which is an insane thing to say because the sanest thing in the world is to ask if you've been to the border if you're in charge of the border. Now, the beginning part is double talk and bullshit.
Yeah.
The second part makes her clinically insane. Here we go.
Okay.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
I'm here in Guatemala today. At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole
you can pause it right there. We're going to the border. We've
I'm
been
in
to the border.
Guatemala right now. Like the hands.
Well, it's also just an insane thing to say. Like if you said to me, if you've ever been to Nova Scotia, and I'd go, we're going to Nova Scotia. We've been to Nova Scotia. That's an insane thing. Or I could say the Bunny Ranch in Laughlin. I'm going to I've been there. Like,
going to a Lakers game anytime soon?
I'm going to it. I've been there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an insane thing to say about.
It's also
welding school. It'd be insane to say, if you're going to I've been to welding school.
I think it's also funny that she just throws out, well, I'm in Guatemala as if that's supposed to be the border.
To be fair to her, she doesn't know. She's going to the access whatever's to figure out the systemic something or whatever. All right, but it's the end part that's the good part.
we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making. Okay.
She doesn't understand the point that you're making when you're the border czar and someone's asking if you've physically been there.
Mm-hmm. And this was him doing this interview after she'd been criticized by Republican congresspeople for not going to the border. So it was in a conversation around all of that.
And also, it's pretty standard fare in that if there is a tornado, then you go to Kansas and you walk. It's what politicians do. No, you're not putting up a fence. You're not triaging any folks that are dehydrated from the walk or anything. You show up, you walk around, you take a couple of pictures, and you leave.
She could have or should have staged a picture like AOC did.
Yeah, go find some fencing
and cry,
grab a knee, and weep for the kids in the cages like J-Lo, and then you dedicate your halftime show to it.
There you go. Except nobody saw that part.
The kids in the cages.
Yeah, didn't she end up having to toss it out?
I cut up a funny thing. I don't know if Dawson can find that. I watched her special or her
documentary,
her
right?
doc, yeah. And it was all talk about kids at the border. And then the halftime special came around and she just shook her ass the entire time and didn't say anything about the kids, which made me laugh. And we intercut it. And it was funny.
I think I've seen that one before. It is quite hilarious.
It shows kind of what a clown she is. Or how insincere, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what she is. She wants people to think she does this, but she shakes her ass for a living.
I think when it comes back to Kamala, I mean J-Lo, Kamala, anybody, right? That when they espouse these ideas or they say these things with such, I guess, passion, or like you think that, like, what is happening with their spouses and their friends and their family around them that don't step in and be like, hey, so that was a little crazy that you said that you were playing 3D chess and that you out-strategized Trump and were able to avoid his, hits on you.
I don't know. I don't know that
maybe
they're
you should
able.
Circle back to not having enough time, or like all of the progressive causes you want to help.
I don't know that they can prevent it because she's just saying it.
They can't prevent it, but they can
But no, for me, I agree with what you're saying. If she had,
that's what a good friend would do.
Yes.
Right?
Look, anybody should be like, look, you're the border czar. We're going to fire up Air Force 2. We're going to take you to the border. You're going to walk around for 15 minutes.
Go to El Paso.
Get right back in the plane and go right back home.
Yep.
And then you can say, I've been to the border, because we're not going to put you out there in front of all the press and you've never been to the border, because they're going to ask, and then we're going to look like idiots. So I don't know why they didn't figure that out. Or they can just prep them and go, look, they're going to ask. So then you go, hey, I'll tell you what, I've never been to the border, but as soon as we're done with this interview, I am going to the border and I will report back on it. Not like be confused by it.
Or pivot, right? Pivot to my staff has, or I've been talking to these leaders, or sometimes this happens with people on the right, by the way, too. Like, not just to pick on Kamala, because she has low-hanging fruit and easy to pick on. But
Buttigieg is low-hanging fruit. Go ahead. If Trump didn't work, that'd be a perfect thing for Trump to work into his Buttigieg thing, and then do the thing where they go, "You call him fruit because he's..." No, I'm not. What do you mean? I didn't even think of that.
okay, that one got me. That was a good one.
Go ahead.
Is that they sometimes say things like, your job when you're a politician at that level is to just be prepped for this kind of stuff. Like, it is so easy. And maybe I think it's easy because I've been in communications and production and stuff for a really long time in conservative media. But sometimes I see people and I'm like, did you not have an answer ready for this? Did you not prep ahead of time?
I'm with you. You can say this. You just go, look, I got a whole team, and I got info and stats, and I'm briefed. I don't need to physically go walk in the dirt. I can see how many people are coming across on a daily basis. I get briefed every morning about what's going on the border.
And make the Republicans the bad guys because they don't care, something.
Right.
It's just right there. It's like with the Karen Bass fiasco of being in Ghana, and then she gets asked by that reporter coming back from the airport, and it's like, you had an 11-hour flight and you couldn't come up with what you were going to say.
I'm going to tell you something else that might upset you.
So far, nothing's upset me.
Oh, really?
Maybe I'm not as genteel as you think I am.
All right.
Okay.
There is a thing where white heterosexual male politicians sort of have to eat shit and apologize.
But the female ones don't?
If you're a protected species, if you're ethnic,
lesbian,
or all the above, then you never have people coming at you going, apologize. You become an endangered species, so they leave you alone, and you're not used to it. And so you get Lori Lightfoot up there, and they're like, you closed down all the salons. Why'd you get your hair cut? Because I like the way I look, and I can't do it myself. They don't go, you know what?
Sorry.
You know what?
Yep.
I'm telling you, the biggest douche on the planet, Gavin Newsom, when he got busted for French Laundry, he had to backpedal.
Yep.
He went, should have practiced what I preach, this is on me.
Meanwhile,
I got to do better.
LA Burns.
Karen Bass doesn't give a fuck. She's like, fuck off, because I'm a protected species. They come up their whole career that way. That's why they're there. So they don't.
That's how they get to the crazy Kamala saying, I was so strategic. I was playing 3D chess.
Right.
And they actually believe it because they've just spent the last 20 years lying about everything.
London Breed.
And never saying sorry.
London Breed, the mayor of
Chicago?
Oakland.
Oh, no.
She was San Francisco. She went to a Tony concert when she locked everyone down, and they were like, why'd you go to a Tony concert? We told everyone to stay at home. She goes, hey, the music hit me.
Yeah.
I was moved by the spirit.
I was moved by the spirit of the music, and there's Tony who tours, and then there's Tony who can be found together on rare occasion, but Tony, not.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
So, fuck off. But that's not really what politicians are supposed to go, you know what? I understand. Optically, it doesn't look good. I'm telling you, women of color, go fuck off.
But I do have to say, Trump does this. And I think that's why Republicans love him so much. That there is an element of he was unapologetic.
No, I know, but he...
what he had done and what he does and how he does it. And a lot of Republicans were like, oh, that's cool.
No, I agree, but there's a difference between getting caught with your hand in the cookie jar and have someone go, what about tariffs? You go, fuck you, I like tariffs. You know,
getting caught with your hand in the prostitute.
Yeah, it's getting busted is what I'm talking about, not like any policy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree he doesn't apologize either.
He's like, I don't apologize for being thrice married and saying the P word.
Oh, yeah. But I think there's a difference between if Trump... And he doesn't, and I agree. But there is a difference between you saying all salons are locked down and now I'm going to a salon.
Yes.
That versus something that you did in the past, you used this language, or you stepped outside your marriage, or you did whatever in the past, and or some policy thing we don't like. All right, do we have J-Lo? I cut this together. I deserve full credit for this.
Edited.
I don't know what year. This is the year of her halftime show, and they followed her around leading up to the halftime show. And I cut this together. Sorry.
The cages, the image of the cages for me, like I couldn't believe what I was watching. There's just certain things as a
Turn
human
it up
being
a little,
you don't do.
please.
What is my message? This is a dark subject matter, but if we can get the message across in a beautiful way, where it's soft and it can be received, then maybe more people get the message. I'm trying to give you
Just
something
shaking her
with
ass.
substance. Not just us out there shaking our fucking asses and fucking belly dancing. I want something real.
Just start shaking her ass.
This is about human rights. I'm facing the biggest crossroads of my life. But to take out the cages and sacrifice what I believe in would
Which
be
is
like
shaking my
never
ass.
being there at all.
Ass. All right, so we're getting back to the word salad double talk, which is in their head.
I
They're
did the
crusaders for children.
I did a thing because I talked about it on a documentary for 40 minutes.
But when the lights go on, shake that coolie, bitch. Yeah. So
it,
she
that
acted
you-
like she did something. She did nothing. However many kids were in cages, there were there before and after her parents. She brought light to nothing. I like that they have to play. I just want to hear the top one more time because I like they have to play the sad music. And then they show. I love it when CNN just finds like a 3-year-old crying and goes, look at this. Look.
You don't really love it when CNN just finds a 3-year-old crying.
It's funny.
The cages. The image of the cages for me, like I couldn't believe what I was watching. There's just certain things as a human being you don't do. What is my message?
Anyway. All right, she does nothing. But
accountability.
But she acts like she does something, and that's the new world order.
She'll still be invited. It's like when she went to play for some fascist in the Middle East. You know, that was abusive to women, but he paid her like $500,000.
Did he keep kids in cages?
Probably. And some wives, too. Who knows? I can't remember the exact nation, but she took like an undisclosed amount of money. And some people were like, wait, why are you going to play for this like oil sheik that mistreats his own people? And she still fundraises for the DNC. So there's no accountability ever.
All right, let's do one more.
One more story. Stephen Colbert has now said the quiet part out loud. This is from our friends over at the Daily Wire. He admits that late night TV tells you how to think. We have a clip of this in a recent interview with GQ.
I'm curious what you feel like the great affirmative case is for a show like yours.
Why should shows like mine continue to exist, or like Kimmel or Jimmy or whatever?
And I said everyone plays a great affection, which is why
I said why? Oh, we're like your friend who at the end of the day paid attention to the news more than you did. And you're aware of it, you just didn't do the detail work that we did. And then we curate that back to you at the end of the day. But it's really more about how we feel about it, or I as the person who like is the vehicle for that, how we felt about today. All those things that might have made you confused or angry or anxious or happy or surprised or something like that. I feel that way at the camera, or to the audience, really. I'm really performing for the audience, and the camera captures it.
He's a hero.
What happened to just being funny?
Oh, man, you got to get people vaccinated, man. So you got to put the humor out the window. Yeah, he's a pompous guy. And he's prickly, and people don't understand that about him.
But it's so interesting that he's like, well, you didn't have time, so I'm going to do it for you, and then I'm going to tell it through my lens. It's like, but then they also want to shut down conservative media or Joe Rogan or you or Ben Shapiro and others, right?
It's funny.
And it's like, but you guys essentially do the same thing. You've just always been honest about it.
He looks at himself as one of those meal prep services. Like, you work hard, you got a lot on your plate, you don't have time to make a home cooked meal.
For as little as $10.99 a day.
Delivered to your door. New menu. Menu changes every week.
Yep.
Kid-friendly menus as well for those picky eaters. That's where Colbert cuisine. He'll bring it right to you. He'll shovel it into your face, and you'll like it, bitch.
It's not funny. It used to be Colbert comedy.
Now it's Colbert cuisine. All right. J-Lo has performed in Saudi Arabia for the children in the cages, most recently at the Formula One Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, April 2021. So a few months ago. And then when she's done hammering checks over there, she'll get back to the kids in the cages. That's all. All right. You got some news there, Rudy?
Yeah, let's do it, huh?
Let's do it.
California Governor Gavin Newsom's characterizations of his humble origins are raising some eyebrows, given his family ties to the late billionaire heir Gordon Getty. During a recent appearance, Newsom recounted that his mother, who divorced from his father when he was young, hustled when he was growing up.
I love it.
Yeah, my mom was 19, pregnant, and divorced a few years later with 2 kids. Came from no money and just hustled. Worked hard, grinding every single day, 2.5 jobs, no bullshit. We had roommates all the time because she couldn't afford the rent. And throughout his career, Newsom has told similar hardscrabble stories about living in poverty, about the time that for example, he claimed to have slept on the couch while his sister slept in a hallway because his mother had to rent out the spare bedroom.
It's kind of interesting. I was thinking sort of the mindset on this. Newsom grew up with privilege. His dad was a judge. His dad was a judge that was pretty favorable to the Getty family, and then later on became in charge of the Getty Trust of like $4 billion or whatever. So his dad was a heavy hitter lawyer.
Oh my God, this
judge, rich guy. And that's where he came from, Bay Area. Look, there's certain indicators, and people should just know the indicators. Like, if you open a winery at 25, you probably have some money, some family, some backing, or what have you. But I was kind of trying to picture the psychodynamic of it, and we'll hear him. Let's listen to him, and then I'll tell you what I think.
But also, it was also about paying the bills, man.
Yeah, man.
And it was just like hustling. and so I was out there kind of raising myself. Turning on the TV, started, just getting obsessed, sitting there with the Wonder Bread and 5 stacks of,
it's like the White Stack Farm story.
Come on. Macaroni and cheese. Come on.
Are you talking about me?
Yo, YG.
YG,
But
man.
every day in the backyard, just bouncing the basketball, throwing the ball against the wall until the ball is just like fraying, man. And your arms fall off.
Come on, man.
The whole thing.
All right.
And then,
so you know what I realized? Obviously, he grew up with privilege.
Sure.
And his Nancy Pelosi and the whole thing. And okay, fine. Dad. Okay. You can do a bullshit thing where your parents got divorced, but if your dad is handling the Getty Trust for $4 billion, you're fine.
Doing okay.
Okay. Now, here's what I realized, though, as I was trying to really think about it. He claims he was this. Like, he grew up this way. He grew up this way. I don't know what. We'll play a clip of him. Here's him talking to me about growing up with a single mom. Let's put it to you this way.
You want to talk some more?
Everyone wants to talk about an even playing field. I tell people there's no such thing as an even playing field. Some people grow up with rich people. Some people grow up, their dads own factories they can work at. Some people grow up poor. I grew up poor. I don't know where you grew up, somewhere in between.
Mama worked 2 jobs, and we were a foster family. And
some people, So everyone grew up somewhere different. Sometimes your ethnicity holds you back.
And by the way, in a divorced household where my mother stepped up and stepped in, and just because my dad wasn't there didn't mean I had no damn chance. There were other factors.
Well, he was there for a while.
He was there for 1.5 years.
Really?
Yeah.
When did he cut out?
I was an 18-year-old pregnant mother, had me at 19, my sister at 20, and they were divorced 1.5 years later. And now he's still played a role in our lives.
All right, so he grew up hard scrabble rich.
Yeah.
Okay. But as I was thinking about this, I was like, all right, let's try to figure out this dynamic. You can clear the screen if you like. I grew up poor, And I didn't grow up like poor sharecropper poor. I grew up about as poor as you could be in the 70s in Los Angeles, which is not Kansas in the 20s. That was a different kind of poor. That's
Dust Bowl.
Yeah, waiting long lines wearing dress shoes.
Yeah.
Poor with dress shoes.
Yeah.
Now we have poor with Air Jordans.
Yeah.
And that's a different kind of poor. So now there's poor with a smartphone and poor with cable and poor with Uber.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's not really poor. But I grew up about as poor as you could be in sort of semi-modern Los Angeles. And food stamps and welfare and that kind of stuff. And then I realized I have a totally different perspective on poor people. Like, poor people that I grew up with were fucking lazy and they're complainers. And my mom could have got a job, but she didn't really want a job. And she'd rather get welfare and food stamps and complain about the government. And most of the people I hung out with, their parents were kind of like, you know, and they weren't exactly hustlers. They didn't work weekends. They like to smoke. They like to drink. They like to watch TV. Like, they were kind of poor for a reason.
Yeah.
Which is they didn't get their fucking hustle on. Like, they didn't make the hay while the sun was shining. Some of it was like substance abuse. Some of it was just kind of, kind of a basic low IQ, kind of dullard, kind of stupid, you know. Part of it was like them kind of trying to game the system a lot, kind of get their hustle on a little bit, you know, like, I don't mean hustle like hustle movement. I mean like bullshit hustle. Like we would, if there was free spaghetti night at the church, we'd go down there. We didn't have any business getting free spaghetti at the church. My mom could have made spaghetti at home, but this was free.
Sure.
So why not stand in line? Lots of like tell the school to get the lunch tickets and all that shit. But as far as I could tell, a lot of underachieving bullshitters who drank a little too much, who had a couple of vices, who gambled a little even though they had no business gambling, and kind of were more into fixing up their own chopper than paying for their kids' braces or saving up for college.
Sure.
It was on them.
Yeah.
And I was like, you guys are fucking dumb and you're lazy and you're depending on the government to bail you out, but it's not because you're not able-bodied. You're just fucking dumb and lazy, and you don't fucking want to do anything. Like, you're not, and sort of narcissistic. Like, just like, hey, man, I could go do this and go do that on a Saturday, but I want to hang around and have a beer and relax.
Yeah. You know, when people will say things like they'll look at maybe somebody who is 50 years old will see another person who's 50 years old and they'll go, oh my God, do I look that old? And you're like, no, you look older than that.
Right.
I would love for people to hear people talk about the race to the bottom. I grew up hard scrabble. I grew up with this. I grew up with that. And then afterwards play them the tape and go, by the way, you sound like that, but way more whiny.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they just go, oh shit, I sound like an asshole?
So the thing about Newsom is I was trying to break it down in my head when he was lying about his hard scrabble. He did not grow up that way. So he may have a sympathy for these people because he doesn't know them.
Sure.
And so the people that don't know these people are constantly like, these are hardworking, proud people who are just looking for a hand up, not a hand. No, they're fucking lazy people who want the government to fucking pay them and then complain nonstop about rich people not paying their taxes when they don't pay jack shit for taxes or do anything for anybody. Yeah. I know them. They're not proud. They're fucking dumb. They're dumb and they're basically lazy and they do a lot of pushing off on the government and the people, like sort of blaming the old man or the lady or the whatever. They do a lot of externalizing. They're fucking lazy and they're not very motivated and they don't have much ingenuity at all. They're just like, fuck, they're not here to do anything but take care of themselves, and that's how they roll. And then their kids, because they're not being taken care of, essentially just drift off early, and they drop out of high school, and they smoke early, and they drink early, and they get shitty jobs, and they follow the trajectory because there was no guardrails, there's no college savings, there's no tutelage, there's no guidance. There's this. As a matter of fact, the kids are like a liability, and they want those kids to get the fuck out of the house so they don't have to deal with somebody who wants food. And, they don't want mac and cheese all the time, So I got a front row seat to these people, and there's nothing proud about them at all. And it's not just me. My friends' parents were like, I was just saying how I was saying yesterday, my best friend, Chris' dad, I mean, we live in an apartment together. His dad had to come stay with us for a month before he checked himself into prison. And he was like 48. You know what I mean? Like, these are fuck up losers. Not proud anything. Yeah. They're fucking grifters who'll take as much free shit as they can get their fucking hands on.
There's nothing sadder than seeing the mom and dad with the goddamn sign at the end of the exit ramp, and they got 2 little kids with them. And every time I'm like, you are showing those kids the worst possible. You never want to end up like this. And why are you showing them that this is an example of how you get by?
Yes.
It's awful.
But I realize Newsom never saw that because he's lying. He's lying about this, like Kamala Harris has to lie about working at McDonald's. Lie about hard scrabble because that's their constituency. And in their world, somehow, in order to do something for black people, you have to talk black or keep hot sauce in your purse or some sort of bullshit. Hey, man, I lived on mac and cheese, man. I played basketball, man. I love Fat Albert. Man, I love that cartoon, Fat Albert. Ooh. Yeah. So he's full of shit. He doesn't know it, and he thinks these people need it. I lived it. I saw it. They don't need it. Like, he sent out I think it's one of your stories about Snap getting cut off or whatever.
Yep.
He sent out a tweet last night, Newsom did, about 40 million people going to be not denied access to food, but I love the denied access.
Yeah.
Denied access to food. So do you get yourself an In-N-Out burger, someone's going to slap it out of your hands from the government?
There's that word literally again.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah, so it says Donald Trump is literally dancing in Asia while 40 million people lose access to food. You don't lose access to food. You lose access to me buying you food.
Yeah.
You can go get your own food. Hey, Dawson, you're eating right now.
Yep.
Did I buy you that food?
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, all right. You work here. Did I remove access for you to get that food?
Nope.
No, you bought that food with your money. That's your food.
Well,
there's not access. Everyone has access to food, just like you have access to birth control if you work at Hobby Lobby. Now, Hobby Lobby may not buy your birth control, but you still have access.
Maybe access is one of his words, though. Remember, he said these people don't have access to checking accounts.
Right. So here's the thing. Why do I have access to everything, and these people have access to nothing? First off, these 40 million people, 37 million of them are morbidly obese. They're all fat.
Yeah.
These people have access to fat reserves that are going to keep them going for at least 5 days.
Oh, God.
At least. A fucking 48-hour fast would be the best thing that ever happened to these lazy fat asses. Number one. So they don't have access to food. Okay, so let's cut them off. Do they wither and die on the vine? I'll bet they find a way to eat.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm optimistic that way. Yeah. But I wrote they should explore the possibility of getting their own food. I know it sounds crazy. And I know, see, Democrats, and especially Newsom, looks at himself as a zookeeper, and they're the animals, and he's in charge of slopping the animals, and they will perish if he doesn't slop them. What he doesn't understand is they can go out and hunt and get their own food, and he's not the zookeeper, and they're not in cages. they have free will.
Yeah. Every time somebody talks about universal health care and they go, it's the right, that's why we'll never get universal health care. I saw a woman the other day drinking a Nestle's chocolate milk, like the half gallon of it, drinking it at a bus stop while simultaneously smoking a cigarette while being 85 pounds overweight. And I thought, maybe that's the reason right there. Like, we can't take care of ourselves. Maybe
Cannot
that's it.
judge. So 40 million people are not going to have access to food. I've never, again, I've been poor. You find food.
Yeah.
Like I found it at my friend's house a lot of times. You figure it out. Just like if you're homeless, you find a place to live unless you're a junkie, in which case you don't. Do we have Josh Gardner? We can work it out, by the way. Haven't heard the song in a while. I like it, but it kind of reminds me of AOC talking about what the Indians do.
We can make it work. We can make it happen. Every man, woman, and child throughout the land. Gotta do our part. Gotta love our brother, man. We all got to get together, lend a helping hand. Blacks are good at sports, Jews at making money, and Greek folks used to be good at a lot of things. Swedish chicks are hot, French folks are saucy, and Puerto Ricans boogie to that crazy beat. Albanians love sheep, Hispanics love relaxing, and Irish people value good times over family.
All right, we got it. They value good times over family.
Great line, man. Great line.
Yeah.
One of the things talking about, people.
All right, wait. Let's hear AOC again because that reminds me we can work it out. Yeah. So basically the Indians boogie to their own crazy beat
so
is
funny.
essentially what goes on. She's great. All right, here it is. Let's see.
This city was built by the Irish escaping famine, Italians fleeing fascism, Jews escaping Holocaust, Black Americans fleeing slavery and Jim Crow, Latinos seeking a better life, Native people standing for themselves, Asian Americans coming together in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan, in Staten Island,
Jesus Christ. Fucking just talk. Just go do something. Would you fucking build something? All right. It's weird, but it's attractive.
Yeah.
It's people like the process.
Yeah. Yeah, because you look at everybody behind her just nodding their heads the whole time. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they hate that. It's part of the reason also it's two parts. A, they love process. They love to talk about stuff, but they get really shamed and agitated if you just start building shit without them. So it's like so the ballroom fucks them up. They don't like Trump in his ballroom, and they're so agitated because if you really think about it, what's the ballroom? I don't know. It's a ballroom that they need because they used to do shit in a tent with wet grass, and then Trump's donors are going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So your thing as a Democrat should be, I don't know, knock yourself out.
Sure.
Also, I don't know what Trump is. Is Trump 79? Like, he's going to turn 80? He's going to be out of there at 83? How much ballroom use is that guy going to really get? I mean, I don't know. You can look it up. But the ballroom is going to take 2 years to finish.
Yeah.
And he's 80. So how much of this is going to be used by him?
Yeah.
I would say future generations will probably be able to use the ballroom more than him. But you should be neither here nor there on the ballroom, but they get agitated. And I've definitely experienced this with roommates where you go like, why don't we clean up? You know, and they go, I'm not going to, you go, fine, I'll start. And you start cleaning around them and they get pissy.
Oh, yeah.
They get really shitty.
Yeah.
Like when the room was finished in the basement.
Yeah.
Because it shames them.
Yeah, it shames them. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's the ultimate troll to add something onto the White House that's going to stand the test of time. And it's going to be a giant reminder, a big, F you to everybody who hated that guy. Did you see the video he posted the other day of him flying the fighter jet, dropping shit all over the No Kings protesters?
Yeah.
Like, the guy they should teach a class on how to troll people, and it would just be all of the stuff that he posts.
I think they will. 2000, hold on. Experts interviewed with New York Times described a proposed timetable for the completion of 2029 is optimistic. So not 2 years, then like 4 years is optimistic. Trump's going to be out of office and well into his 80s. So I don't know how much booging to that crazy beat he's going to be doing in that ballroom.
Yeah.
They'll just be for other people.
Yeah. Let's move on. Laugh Factory Chicago manager arrested for allegedly interfering with ICE. A manager at the Laugh Factory Chicago was arrested by mass federal agents, and the wild encounter with law enforcement was caught on video. Night manager Nathan
You ever
Griffin,
been there?
I have been there. I've met Nate real quick in passing. I don't know him very well. I mean, seriously, we shook hands real quick. I don't really know him, and he meets a million people a day. But yeah, I saw this the other day.
Is that in downtown Chicago?
Maybe it was downtown. They do talk about how this was definitely in Chicago. It happened in front of his mother, who was in town visiting, but doesn't give an exact. You know what? Actually, it said it was outside of the club. That was the first report that I had seen. It's not in this from TMZ.
Nate white guy or Nate Hispanic guy?
Nate white guy.
Oh, okay.
Beard. Yeah.
Okay, so they're doing battle with ICE.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as anything happening without women screaming what's going on. Women are going nuts.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. You know, it's funny. The guy who's being handcuffed and zip-tied and tackled is not making a peep. But every woman around is screaming at the top of their lungs, what the fuck are you doing? It's crazy. So that's him on the ground?
That's him on the ground.
Now, how did he get to there?
You know, they don't show that in the video, but from what some of the reports were with that is that he was interfering with law enforcement while they were possibly interrogating somebody or making an arrest, and that's where that was the first initial meeting that he had with police officers and ICE, and then this is where it ended up. But they don't show. There's no video that shows before that.
There's something going on, and I think we need to put a PSA out because we haven't really gotten the message. If you fuck around with cops or ICE or uniform, whatever, they just take you down.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we have a lot of bravado. It's sort of like every once in a while you see a blonde chick slap a black dude, and it's like, he's going to counter that with a stiff right cross. Like, I know you think nothing's going to happen because you're a girl and he's a guy and he's not going to, and we're in public. He's going to.
Yeah.
So don't do it. And there's a weird thing. Women have more than men, which I keep seeing, which is they run up to the ICE guy and they start shoving him and screaming and stuff like, bitch, you're going down to the asphalt.
Yeah.
And then when you go down to the asphalt, don't scream what's going on.
You're surprised by it.
I like the surprise part. I would never be surprised if I tried to fight a cop. So if you get in on them and you start pushing on them or blocking them or whatever, then you go to the ground. Now you can go, why are they there? Oh, I don't know. Well, what right do they have to be there? I don't know. Well, is it good or bad or right or wrong that they're there? That's all a secondary question.
Yeah.
It's the first part where you push on them. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You'll go down to the ground. And then they'll go, why? And it's like, well, because you pushed on them. And then they'll go, but they weren't even, they're in the wrong building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but you pushed on them. So now you're on the ground.
Yeah, I think if you play the video a little bit more, you'll actually see, I think the women that are in this video go a little bit more bonkers than what they already are. Like, they kind of really start to...
That's
You
good.
can bring it up, yeah.
So there's two people on the ground.
There's two people on the ground. I don't know if the one is... Because he was with his mom, and I don't know if one of them was his mom that was on the ground with him.
I don't know. I don't think my mom would ever jump in.
Oh yeah, not a chance.
I called on officer. If you're letting this happen, you're just as much to fuck with.
Everybody is fine. We have to go to you. Why are you doing this? Where are you taking him? Where are you taking him? Where are you taking him?
Where are we taking him? He's going to Honduras to open a comedy club. He's going to open for Jose Feliciano in Honduras. Where are you taking him? He'll be fine.
Yeah. In a post that came up by Nathan's brother-in-law, they put out a GoFundMe for legal fees.
Hold on. I would like to hear the chick scream a little more.
Oh.
Or just a little more. That's okay. I love women screaming. Women are so miserable now. It's so sad. That's all our fault.
Yeah, in a GoFundMe that was posted by his brother-in-law for legal fees, it turns out that after 4 hours after being detained, he did pop up in FBI custody. Where he's at now, it doesn't say.
He's at the Zanies in Guadalajara. He's opened the Zanies in Guadalajara.
Yeah. Should we go on to Zohan Mamdani's?
Yeah.
Dude, so this.
I love this guy.
Oh, my God. This guy.
I love him.
Unbelievable. So Zoran Mamdani's dad claims that Nazis took direct cues from the United States. Mamdani, 34, has often credited his father.
People? Why? Why do people listen to their dads? I thought the whole point, it's like, you think I'd do anything that Jim Carolla did or told me to do? I'm like, I'd do the opposite of what that guy said to do.
I've always said, I figured it out early on. If I just do exactly opposite of the people in my life while growing up, I'll be successful. And so far, things are working out.
I did the same thing. I was like, if I just do the opposite of what Rudy's dad would do, I'll be a success. But I have a West Coast version of that, which is Jim Carolla. And I'm going to just do the opposite of what he would do. He wasn't even a bad guy, but he wasn't successful at all. So I was like, I'll just do the opposite. But this is Zoram's dad. What about his aunt, though, who was forced not to ride the subways? That was my favorite story.
So this is where he said that his aunt
we'll listen to the dad for a second.
Yeah.
I love it. He's a good guy.
America is the genesis of what we call settler colonialism. Mm-hmm. And the American model was exported all around the world. Abraham Lincoln generalized the solution of reservations. They herded American Indians into separate territories. For the Nazis, this was the inspiration. Hitler realized two things. One, that genocide was doable.
All right. Pause it. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but what are you doing here if it's so bad? If everything's so bad all the time and your native Uganda is a miracle wonderland where it's Xanadu where people and unicorns frolic, then just fucking go there. Just go there then. I really, not for me, for you. It's so much better. It's so much better. Just go there.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I love the aunt. I love Zoran's aunt, who the poor woman was scared to ride the subway with the hijab on.
Yeah.
Because it is a great story. Yeah. It's great.
It's funny because he had basically said it seems like she was the real victim of 9/11 who was scared of taking the bus while wearing her hijab.
Right. But let's just... All right, just play it for a second. Let's say.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City.
Good. Let's talk to them. What's going on, Muslims? New York City. It's getting emotional.
I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab.
Okay, let me just say this. We do this thing. It's like, by the way, his aunt didn't live in New York, didn't wear a hijab, and wasn't here during that time period.
Yeah, you want to feel unsafe? Wear a Blue Jays hat down to the Dodger Stadium today. That's a feeling of unsafe.
She was in Tanzania or something, I think. I can't read it from here. But she wasn't in the country. She wasn't on the subway. She didn't have a job. But other than that, it's a perfectly accurate story. Just like Kamala Harris is, working at McDonald's, and Gavin growing up hard scrabble. It's a great parable, except for it never happened.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, after 9/11, there was a lot of like, hey, there's a thing where some guy driving a Ram truck yelled at a guy at a 7-Eleven because he was wearing a turban. It's like, did he put his hands on him? No. It's really not that bad, considering 3,000 people are dead and, the towers are gone.
Sure.
Like that's, I feel like as a nation, I don't know what you're expecting, but I don't know that the Middle East folks would have done much better. And here's all I'm saying. If I was just like living in Iraq and they had a financial center with 2 big skyscrapers and the Rams team plane flew into it and took them both down. And then I was like, why can't I wear my Rams hat on the subway the next day?
Yeah.
Someone would go, because you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And I go, why not? I wasn't flying that plane. I can't wear my Rams hat. No, I just for a couple months.
Yeah.
This is bullshit, man. By the way, I would be torn apart limb from limb if I put my Rams hat on and went down to the subway in Tehran the next morning. So this thing, now obviously this never happened, so he's just a fucking liar. More victim shit, more sympathy shit. I get it. That's how you run. You run on pretending you're poor and pretending you're a victim. Zoran has to pretend he's poor and he's a victim at the same time. He's rich and he's not a victim, and your aunt didn't even fucking live here. But keep lying. And by the way, the people that vote for this guy, you should have thoughts about continuous lying.
Yeah, they're okay with it when he lies. But when Trump lies, when anybody else on the right lies, now they're the worst people. I can't believe that people vote for these people. Put them into power.
Also, there's a weird thing. I don't mind the lie that said you won the golf championship at the club.
Yeah.
Or you're all Central Valley or something in high school or something. I don't like it. I don't mind it for some reason. The victim lie bothers me more. And I don't know why, but my aunt couldn't wear the hijab. Also, first off, you can take a cab for 3 months.
Sure.
You don't have to ride the subway. Also, nobody did anything to your aunt. Oh, by the way, your aunt didn't ride the subway. But if she did, no one would have put hands on her. Yes, maybe she got a look. Okay, I'd say it's a small price to pay.
Yeah. I had a guy this weekend tell me that at the age of 17 went on tour playing for Earth, Wind, and Fire, and then was also a colonel in the Army. I'm like, wow, they give you enough time from Earth, Wind, and Fire to go work your way up the ranks of the U.S. military. And he was like, yep, totally happened. I was like, you do realize, dude, this is it's a easy Google search to find out.
I know.
But I don't even care. Who cares? I know it's bullshit, but it was a fun lie.
They found Zoran's aunt, his only aunt, was living in Tanzania and not wearing a hijab in 10 minutes and then put it up. I don't know why. But again, I don't know. You said you worked at McDonald's. It's discernible.
Yeah.
Not bothersome that you didn't.
No.
All right. We will take a little break. Eric Trump is going to join us. Rudy, you got dates. La Jolla Comedy Store coming up.
Yeah.
November 7th to the 9th. And then Heavy Rotation Brewing in Minnesota or Minneapolis.
Yeah, Minneapolis. Yeah, it'll be a good one. That's a Black Friday. So right after Thanksgiving.
All right, what do you got? You got some
I got some crazy news about Drake. He's addressing his plastic surgery rumors. Specifically, he didn't get a BBL.
What is that?
That's a Brazilian butt lift.
Oh, okay.
Now, Kendrick Lamar made it famous of BBL Drake. Really got him good with that. And, now he's with Bobby Altoff, who has a career somehow.
Who is Bobby Altoff?
Exactly. But check her out.
People think you got a procedure done.
Really? Procedure?
Yeah, an ab one.
Really?
Yeah, did you do that?
No.
Do an op
Is that a thing?
I'm sure it is.
Why do you know that?
Because people do it all the time.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
You've never done that?
No. People also say that I got a BBL, right? They call me BBL Drizzy. So.
Oh, that's true. Did you?
I don't know if my like wagon looked crazy when I walked in here, but
his wagon. That's his.
You got a BBL and you got your abs sculpted.
Did you? Do I have a fatty?
I didn't look at your body when you walked in here.
Do you want me to 360?
I don't.
So then, like, if it didn't stand out to you,
No, me personally, I've never looked at you and thought.
I think it was just like I came from the gym. I was sweaty in that pic. Maybe I went on Facetune and like put like details up, you know, and you can like make it.
Don't even admit to that much. Then
sorry,
you
just being
Facetuned
honest.
it.
Yeah, I was like maybe I like heightened the like saturation or something on it.
Okay.
I think I like hit it too hard. I hit it too hard.
Yeah.
They don't look like that. You saw them.
By the
Don't
way,
make that weird.
Yeah. You know that SNL skit, The Californians? Yeah. That's who she is.
Yeah.
She's like, you had ob work? You ever hear that song by Steve Miller called Abacadabra?
I was just saying in here, it seems that Bobby girl is becoming a parody of herself.
You know the Swedish band ABBA?
Take the 101 to the 405 down to the 5, take the connect way.
Did you see the Liberace film, The Candelabra?
The Candelabra. You know what I like for breakfast? Abacaba toast.
Gonna take tonight. I'm gonna take some Viagra.
Listen to her at the beginning go, do you have your work?
Yeah.
Is she Canadian or something? What is she?
She's an industry plant.
Oh, okay.
People think you got a procedure done.
Really?
You know.
Procedure?
Yeah, an ab one.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no chemistry here. She's like 12 years too old for Drake.
Who is she?
I think she got major fame. She's just a social media person. She got major fame for interviewing that one actress or the one musician that she said was a musician, but the lady said, I'm not a magician.
Oh.
So that's
but this is a throwback
hilarious.
to how she entered because her and Drake did a famous interview just like this. And I will say her deadpan comedy is not to my liking.
It's getting old.
Is Drake got too much of the Roomba vacuum robot in his stuff is robot. I don't like the auto-tuny weird
he got
stuff.
obliterated by the other kid, Kendrick Lamar, and now he's hilarious. So it's another he's on the radio. He's milquetoast.
You know my favorite artist is Obstruct. Okay. I have to go talk to my obstetrician. All right. So that's that. So he may have. It's a picture of him standing with his shirt off.
Yeah, they say he got ab surgery. You know what I mean? Some kind of microscoping or something like that.
There is a thing. There's a thing, but I mean, what is all right? Well, what is working out? Like we're not. I mean. I'm not asking you, but here's what I'm saying. Here's what we're getting at. Here's what we're getting at. Because you have to kind of get to the crux.
Oh, I see.
Of things. You have to get to the crux of things. You know what I mean? And working out. Okay, I look better than you do with my shirt off. But what are we talking about? Like, what are we really striving for or talking about as human beings in general? And let's I've never really distilled this down, but let's distill it down. I'm going to make it easy.
Aesthetics, you're saying?
No, we argue a lot. Like, oh, so what happens? So some chick loses a few pounds and every bitch is like, she's on Ozempic. And then I'm always like, how do you know she's on Ozempic? Maybe she just, cut the carbs back, hit the gym a little bit. Oh, no, she's on Ozempic. And it's like, well, look, she's a 34-year-old woman. She dropped 20 pounds. Maybe she's just working out. Maybe she's just getting up in the morning. Maybe she got a trainer. Oh, no, she's doing the Ozempic. Okay, so there's that, right? And then I'm leading to something powerful from a sociological, psychodynamic standpoint.
Oh, very well.
And then there's like, look at that rich guy over there. Oh, man. Yeah, born on third base, thought he hit a triple. It's daddy's money. it's daddy's money. Somebody said, I get with me. It's like they'll go like, well, if you never met Kimmel, then like I met Kimmel 35 years ago. He accounted for the first 4 years, and then after that, I had to work. You know what I mean? If you never met. So then you think to yourself, like Ozempic, you met Kimmel, or your daddy, Nepo baby, and then daddy's money, family money. Then you get into that's those abs. That's your surgery. We did that with the surgery. Okay, so what are we saying here? What are we saying? Well, here's what we're saying. In order to get those abs or that money, the conceit would have to be that guy works harder than you. You like eating Taco Bell. He likes Taco Bell too, but he doesn't do it because he's got more discipline than you. And that guy over there in his fancy car with his money, he works weekends. And while you were out partying, he was home studying. And while you slept in, he got up at 6 a.m. and hit the gym. So that fucker's outworking you. And he has more discipline than you. And you don't like the way that feels. So we're going to chalk his abs up to Ozempic, and we're going to chalk his car up to daddy's money.
Yep.
And then I can feel better about not being disciplined enough to be successful in this society.
True.
The people that are successful in this society are disciplined. It's not daddy's money. It's not even IQ. It's not your looks. It's not your hairline. It's not your height. It's your discipline. The disciplined people, look, anyone can have fucking abs. You do not need a plastic surgeon. Now, I am not disciplined enough, and also, although if you find that old boxing picture, I don't know. Those are some abs there.
Oh, medicine ball Carolla.
But the point is fuck it. I'll do comedy. Like, I don't have to look good with my shirt off.
But you're speaking right to my ears because I got a couple kids. Two guys, both of them had similar physiology where they're both very strong fighters. One of these guys worked his ass off, has 2 fights under his belt in the past month. The other guy want to kick back, smoke weed. Hey, he's sent back to Jacksonville. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Discipline. Well, look at his ass.
You are a buff guy, Carolla, in that picture for sure. But why does it look like it was in the 50s?
The guy took the picture just had black and white.
He's a very artful photographer. Jesus Christ, you look like Sammy.
All right, let's get off there. But the whole point is this. We are in such a struggle not to... The fucking lazy are inheriting the earth, right? And the politicians have decided that the lazy are their constituency, and that's why they give the speeches. Like, you think they're better than you? They need to pay their fair share of tax. Bitch, they pay all the taxes. All the rich people pay all the taxes. You're talking to people who don't pay taxes, and you're trying to convince them to be angry at rich people, essentially, who pay all the taxes. And they get it. There are many more lazy people than there are 6 a.m. gym rats.
And they're all in the comments section.
Right. And so somebody goes, they think they're better than you. They are, because they're more disciplined than you. Yes. Here's the deal. Universally, nobody wants to get up at 5 and go to the gym. And there are a handful of weirdos out there. But nobody wants to get up at 5 and go to the gym. And nobody wants to eat jicama and blanched chicken breast without the skin for dinner. We want fucking nachos.
Listen, man, I don't know what you're saying because there's a lot of guys that want to wake up at 5 and do the gym. There are a lot of guys who want to put in the suffering for glory.
Well, for glory, but I'm saying...
That's what I'm saying. No, you become... If you get it where you want to go do that, it becomes a psycho party.
When I say a lot, I mean way less than 1%, though. Is what I'm saying. Your average American wants to fucking eat whatever they fucking want and look like they went to the gym. But they don't, because they don't have the discipline. Look, there's tons of comedians who are super funny, but they don't want to fucking write, and they don't want to memorize, and they don't want to work out. It's the same, the UFC thing. It's like they don't want to put the hours in, so they're not going to get rewarded. But my point is this. we have a cottage industry about trying to figure out who's doing the sit-ups and who's doing the Ozempic and who's getting the plastic surgery and whose money is daddy's money and whose money's your money, because the lazy and the weak are intimidated by discipline. They fucking hate it. That's why they hate competition. My mom was one of those hippies, like, why do we have to keep score? Why? Of course you don't want to keep score, bitch, because you'd lose every single game. The people that are working hard and kicking ass want to keep score. The hard work, the students that are studying on the weekends want them to have grades and GPAs. The lazy ones don't want that. That's how it fucking works. But it turns out there's more lazy people than there are 6 a.m. gym rats or people studying on weekends or guys going out and working on their material instead of going out to Taco Bell and having some drink.
Well, you're going to freaking love this next story, though.
All right.
All right. Gen Z faces some workplace challenges as 73% admit to parental help in job assignments. What's happening right now is that a lot of young people getting jobs need their parents to come in and negotiate pay raises or scheduling this type of thing. Yeah, it's a strange thing. I think COVID broke everybody's brain and the young people are stunted a bit and there's a weird hand holding going on.
We could not wait to be adults when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And look, it's a real easy equation. In our modern society, the thing that makes you an adult, and it's not a bar mitzvah, is a driver's license. Driver's license is the difference between adulthood and childhood, because the day you can fucking get in that car and take off to the reservoir or go to wherever, the day you get that driver's license, that's the day you're an adult. And we had people, first off, historically, there are people like, I lived on a farm. I drove my dad's truck when I was 13. You know, there's like a lot of that. Then it turned into, got my learner's permit at 15 and a half, took driver's ed first year, 10th grade, took driver's training the second semester. So when I got out of the 10th grade, I went right to the DMV. You know, I grew up with guys on their 16th birthday were celebrating at the DMV. Right. Okay. That's how everyone I grew up with. Oh, no mas anymore. You talk to 19-year-old dudes. They're like, okay. Now, we could be talking about a driver's license, but really what we're talking about is entry into adulthood.
It's like a tradition.
And you going at 18, 19, 20, I don't have my license, I don't really care, is you saying, I don't want to be an adult.
Yeah.
We wanted to be adults badly. So they've prolonged this adolescence, and now the more time you spent in the nest with mama feeding you, well, that's the more hand-holding you're going to need when you're 25. I mean, well, shit, when I was trying to think, but I mean, by the time I was like 19 or 20, I was just like dudes, apartments, trucks, you know, weed, beer park, you know, fucking fighting
trying to
out,
escape,
swinging a hammer, out buying tools, you know. I was just living an adult life, and I never looked back. I mean, I never went back home or did anything. Just that was just it. Yeah, that's a new thing.
Hiring managers have shared with resume.org stories of job applicants laying in bed during virtual interviews, doing the interview in a car, even chewing tobacco and spitting in a cup mid-interview.
That guy would hire. I like a guy dips during an interview.
Just spittoon.
Spittoon. There used to be spittoon humor in cartoons.
Yeah.
Guy'd go, ding, 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 ding. Like, I don't know who invented spittoon humor, but it was a pretty big part of my childhood.
I'm pretty sure some cowboy said some cold-ass line and ding, and that was where it was born.
I get it.
And Mel Brooks was it Mel Brooks that was alive in that era? Somebody was old.
It's not a round bell. And by the way, you could be at a bar having a couple of drinks and hear that ding and like pop up and think you're going into the fourth round, right?
What round is it?
What round is it, Coach? All right, what else?
Malcolm Gladwell says he's ashamed of being cowed into supporting trans athletes in women's sports. And I remember this clip of him in there, kind of the way it... Here, let's run this.
We'll play it.
if we did a replay of that exact panel at the Sloan Conference this coming March, it runs in exactly the opposite direction. And it would be, I suspect, near unanimity in the room that trans athletes have no place in the female category. I don't think there's any question. I just think it was a strange, the reason I'm ashamed of my performance at that panel, because I share your position 100%, and I was cowed. The idea of saying anything on this issue, I was I believe in retrospect, in a dishonest way. I was objective in a dishonest way.
No, I thought we were going to play the clip of this actual incident where he had got cowed. I remember, he's one of my favorite authors, so I was paying close attention.
I like him too.
And when he got like kind of bullied in like that kind of queer way, you know what I mean? Like they kind of bullied him into being like, oh yeah, okay. All right. So he's now reversing his position and realizing that he kind of got bullied into that, saying, yeah, it's fine for a female boxer to take on a used to be man.
Well, part of, I'm glad you brought it up because it speaks to a bigger issue, which is the trans thing is kind of a novelty in the sense that it doesn't really affect any of us practically. I don't have a trans kid. I don't compete against males who used to be females.
Yeah, I have no problem with the trans community. I think they're fine to exist. They should do their thing.
It does not. So it does not exist practically in terms of impactfulness. But what it does do is it's an interesting thought experiment. In a world where some people believe in Bigfoot and some people believe in a Loch Ness monster and some people believe in aliens,
flat Earth,
and some people think Elvis is still alive.
No moon landing.
The craziest of all beliefs.
Jews did 9/11.
Right. The craziest of all beliefs is that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man. That's the craziest. And we figured out a way to make people go along with that, which is essentially what happened and then that all spilled into COVID, and that all spilled into stolen election or Hunter Biden's laptop. It just spilled in January 6th. It just spilled in this thing where essentially here's where we're at. You sit at a table with 6 people, and they're all sitting around going, Elvis is still alive, right? And then you're like, oh, he is? And then you go, and then they go, yeah, I saw grainy footage of him down at the Piggly Wiggly, and he's around. He's put a little weight on. He's in his 80s now. And then there's and then at some point the table looks at you, and they go, Adam, you think Elvis is still alive, don't you? Well, what I've learned, sadly, is that 96% of Americans go, oh, yeah, I do. 100% of women almost, and like 89% of guys just go, yeah, Elvis is alive. Yeah, because I don't want to get yelled at by the table.
Well, I mean, for me, am I trying to bang somebody or everybody at this table?
Well, there's that element of it too, but we are able to get people to go along with shit because they're scared of being ostracized. There's no way everyone had the thoughts they had about COVID. There's no way. They didn't wear their mask right. Half the people I knew had the fucking mask around their chin or their nutsack.
I had like a pirate.
Yeah, they didn't care. So there's no way they cared that much, but you got them to care because you scared them because they're weak and you're going to ostracize them. And like I said, I remember going to brunch years ago in Hawaii. I had a whole table turn on me. The whole table at brunch turned on me about Mexicans and leaf blowers. And I just kept, I remember, so it was 2 things I remember. I remember, A, this is uncomfortable. And then B, I was like, there were dumb chicks at the table that were all of a sudden experts on leaf blowers and Mexicans. And I was like, what the fuck do you bitches know about Mexicans and leaf blowers? You never even brought it up. You don't know anything. By the way, the same way they became experts in hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin, and the same way they all became physicians in like a 2-week period, right? So I realized at that point, people will pile on. They will happily turn all their weird ire toward the one guy at the table who's saying something unpopular, and most people at that island resort would cave and not do the angle I did on Mexicans and leaf blowers, but I didn't. And it's not because I have anything other than this is what the truth is. So I don't know. Would it make you happy if I pretended to be dumb?
What did you say? You were anti-leaf blower. I know that much. And why was everybody pointing at you with their forks?
I have the burden of information, Mayhem. It's a burden. It's a burden.
I'm aware.
Knowing things. It's a burden with dumb people that are headstrong. I had read an article and I'd used my crystal brain, and I said, listen, leaf blowers have been outlawed in Los Angeles since 1999. They're outlawed, but they continue to be used ubiquitously every day, all day, every day, but they're outlawed. Why is it not being enforced? And the answer is the only people who use them are poor, brown, Mexican dudes. And the city council doesn't like the optics of coming down on poor, brown people. That's their constituency. So they don't enforce the law. By the way, what do you think all the street vendors are? Poor brown people. Why doesn't the LA City Council crack down on them? They don't. That's their constituency. They never stop talking about it. Do you think Mayor Bass is going to come down on poor brown people? All she does, she wants to fight ICE. She's literally telling people to fight ICE. So, okay. So it's a law. It's not enforced because of the color of their skin, because of their ethnicity, and because of the city council doesn't like the optics of it. And then everyone screamed at me that I was wrong, even though they didn't know jack shit. And I was just like, I don't know what you want me. First of all, I'm the only one at this table that knows this subject. I read an article on it.
I've heard this before.
There was a million Mexican march on City Hall with leaf blowers. They all came in on skateboards with leaf blowers.
I was in the office chair just doing circles.
That's right. They were listening to Fleetwood Mac and drinking pineapple juice or whoever that guy was. Anyway, the point is this. It's not comfortable. And so I get when Malcolm Gladwell gets up there and he's surrounded by a room of people that want him to say a certain thing, then he'll say it. But this is the problem, people. This is how we get into trouble, because a bunch of fucking scared people caved, and now Tin Horn Flats is shut down because we didn't support outdoor dining.
And it's a character flaw to cave. I mean, it's understandable. But
you know what, though? Is it a character flaw when something is genetically built in to human beings, like to fear the mob?
You're supposed to like
along to get along
self-preservation.
Yes,
it's in your lizard brain.
They fear that mob, man.
Yeah. Then why are you immune to it?
No, you got to fight back. Me too. I love everybody disagreeing with me. Get at me in the comments.
I don't enjoy the feeling of ruining brunch or being yelled at by my daughter about COVID to take my shoes off. I don't enjoy any of it. I have a unique thing, which is I can remove myself from any equation. And once I can take me out of the equation and go, is this correct or isn't this not correct or correct? And then I will give the answer, but I will remove myself and my feelings from the equation. That most people factor themselves into every equation, so much so where like there's extreme versions, where they'll go like people will go like, yeah, I took that guy's laptop because anyone dumb enough to leave their car window open and their laptop on the seat while they're in the Starbucks deserves that. It's like, no, you're not doing them a favor. You're a criminal.
Yeah.
But you somehow... By the way, if they stole your laptop, you'd be rip shit pissed.
Yeah.
My feeling is one mode, take yourself out of the equation. It's real easy. You treat the microwave at work the exact same way you treat the one in your kitchen, and we'll have a utopia. That's the world I'm living in. All right, let's get into some news with Hughes, shall we?
All right, the new director of the Food and Drug Administration's vaccine division told his agency in a staff memo that an internal review found that at least 10 children died after and because of receiving the COVID vaccine.
Well, look, if they were healthy, then that's more kids than died of COVID while healthy. It's all the kids. It all back to the kids. Every road's to the kids. That's all they did was the kids. That's all they did was scare dumb mamas. Dumb mamas controlled the house, and dumb mamas became their foot soldiers and did their fucking bidding. So it's basically like you go, look, what do you want? You go, well, I want everyone to not take ivermectin and not take hydroxychloroquine and get vaccinated and stay in and shelter in place and wipe everything out with Purell. You are not going to get that done with me. You will get it done with a dumbass wife. You poison her brain and you get to her, and then she inflicts. She is the disciplinarian. She lays down all the rules, the COVID rules at the house, right? And the way you get her is you scare her about kids. That's what works with her. So kids. If they had just said at the beginning of this, it doesn't really appear to harm healthy kids. It just doesn't. It just doesn't seem to have, it's like maybe a flu or a cold to a healthy young person. So it doesn't really seem to affect kids. It would have been a totally different trajectory. We wouldn't have shut the schools down. We wouldn't have shut society down. If they had told us what they knew about kids, then we would have gone a different direction. But they never did. They never did. They wouldn't, because they held that. They guarded that information, and they guarded that information because once you let the kids off the danger hook, like if you said, it doesn't appear to really be dangerous to healthy kids, then every mom in the world would have stopped enforcing all the retarded edicts they put before her. And that's where we got. And that's why the dumb moms got the fucking kids vaccinated, and it was totally unnecessary for them.
Absolutely.
And now it's dangerous. Thanks, moms. Yeah. Great job. Next time, ask a fucking question, would you please, before you light your Fauci candle? Fucking dumb shits.
Yep.
Everyone in this fucking safety sphere and all this thing, it's fucking us up. You guys fucked up your kids in the name of safety. Good job, moms.
Smart.
Keep listening to dopes who lie to you.
Well, the media certainly isn't helping. This article comes from AOL, and they say, experts are pushing back. Guess the expert that they quote. The guy that RFK fired. He's the expert that is pushing back.
Your expert titles are null and void because all your experts were wrong all throughout COVID.
Right.
And all my experts were right that you pulled off the internet.
He says, this memo conveys a very troubling mixture of misrepresentation and lies. The climate within the agency is incredibly toxic right now. The agency that you got fired from.
Yeah, by the way, Jack White, Hall of Fame with the White Stripes. Is there one fucking Jack White Stripes song we know other than that one? Who gets into the fucking...
one that might ring a bell, but I couldn't think of it. Who gets into the Hall of Fame with one fucking song? I don't know. Somebody who's sitting on the nominating committee?
Aha! Also, I think it's the chick drummer thing. I think they like that.
They do. They do. This article goes on. I got to share this with you, too. Kennedy, an anti-vaccine activist, has downplayed the benefits of it. It's like, come on, guys. No one's going to take you seriously anymore.
Listen.
Except for moms who are scared.
Well, listen, he's for vaccines you need and against vaccines you don't need.
He's not an anti-vaccine activist.
I'm not getting a vaccine for malaria, and neither are my kids. Does that make me anti-vaccine, or does it just mean they're not going to get malaria, so it's not worth whatever risk comes along with the vaccine?
That's what that means.
That's all I ever said. That's all I ever said with the fucking kids.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sad.
Well, Trump said retard on social media over the weekend, referring to Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as a retard.
I'm very glad that. Listen, I'm not going to call myself the Harriet Tubman or the Rosa Parks of retard. But when the chips were stacked against me about 10, 15 years ago, and everyone's trying to put a ban on retard, and they said you got to sit in the back of the short bus.
You were front of the bus.
I said
on that.
nope. I said fuck right off. That's one of my favorite words, and it's the most applicable to so many people I talk to.
Absolutely.
I was on stage.
It's applicable to Tim Walz.
I know.
Go on.
I was on stage with Todd Glass, I think the comedian. He was a wonderful guy. Loves to beat me up, even though I played his charity. I love when people do. Anyway, he's a fucking unfunny douche. But we're on stage at the Improv, and he was telling me I couldn't use the word retard on stage, and I just went, "Yeah, I can." And he's like, "No, you can't." I love it when stand-ups police the language of other stand-ups. It's so fucking awesome. But anyway, I never, look. There was some tough sledding for a while. I know. But I stood my ground. I stood my retard ground.
And we're all better for it.
Thank you.
Well, there's blowback and backlash because he used the word retard. A senator in Indiana who has a daughter with Down syndrome is very upset, and he says that he's not going to vote for redistricting in Indiana because Donald Trump said the word retard. Not for any reason worth merit.
Retard should have also this thing where it's like, I have a child. Oh, fuck off with your fucking child. Who gives a fuck, you narcissist douchebags? Everyone's got a child with some shit going on, so shut up.
Well, basically, this was just an opportunity for him to act on the feelings he already had.
Well, he's going to take a narcissistic stance.
Of course.
Right. Yeah. All right. Listen, advance.
I just think it's
forward.
Hilarious. The president of the United States called the former running mate in the last election a retard or retarded.
I enjoy it.
That's amazing.
Here's the thing. Advance is advance and retard is retard.
Yes.
It's all a timing thing.
Yes.
It has to do with cars. You take your distributor and you could advance the timing or you can retard the timing. By the way to pass a smog is to retard the timing, and then you can advance it a little once you get your smog certificate.
That's what I tell my friends. Right whenever I call them retarded, I'm just saying, look, your timing's off. That's all I'm saying.
My Hawk clip was from Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
Some 3 years ago. But feet on the sofa.
The bottom of her feet, too. I mean, that can't be a good look. Was that a sock?
No, it was the bottom of it's clearly the bottom of a shoe because it has a shape like a sole.
Yeah.
It's not a sock shape.
Yeah.
No, she walked down the filthy, mean streets of Manhattan, through the gutters, through the rat feces, through the hobo flop, and walked right onto that upholstered stage and put her feet right up on there. Also, it's also a kind of a I don't respect you way of sitting.
Sure.
Like, it's not the way you'd sit. Like if the principal called, there's a way to sit. Like when the principal calls you into their office and like, oh, young man, you're in trouble. Like you don't sit like that.
If you sat like that in court,
right.
The judge would not.
The judge would not be happy. If you sat that way in court, your attorney would elbow you.
Yeah.
And then he'd write on a little pad, a scratch pad, and he'd write, "Put your goddamn feet on the ground,"
right? Because
the judge is watching us, right? Yes. And also, it's basically the equivalent of put on a cardigan sweater. You know what I mean? As a dude, let's not look like a thug. All right.
Yeah, that's the bottom of a boot kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. There it is, there, buddy. I don't know why it's comfortable, by the way, but somehow. All right, retard.
Have you ever seen the movie Rush Hour? Any of the movies Rush Hour?
Maybe some. The first one, I think so.
I've never seen one, but they were big hits.
They were big hits.
Apparently, Donald Trump, President Trump, spoke with Paramount head David Ellison, whose father is Larry Ellison, the billionaire co-founder of Oracle. And apparently he professed his love for Rush Hour. And now Rush Hour's coming back. It doesn't say that everybody's signed on to it, but nobody's fighting against it. But forget about Rush Hour. What's more important, buried deep in the article, is it turns out that President Trump is a huge fan of the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic Bloodsport.
Oh, really?
Now, if we can get a remake of Bloodsport,
well,
I'm down.
Listen, let's start with Time Cop, all right? Mm-hmm. And then we go to Bad Ronald. It's high time we had a Bad Ronald remake. Scott Jacoby's not been doing anything for like 47 years. We can get him to play the dad this time. He'll come back. All I know is I remember, I have a faint memory of being backstage at this happens to me every once in a while. To the best of my knowledge, I've never met Chris Tucker. To the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
I was doing a show in like San Antonio, and it was like a thing where sometimes you play these venues where they'll have like two venues in the same place. And I think I was doing...
Yeah, like Copper Blues or something like that, where they got music in one
Well, there's
thing and then comedy in another.
Yeah, I was
they
doing...
the bar.
I was doing... There's a lot of those, and then there's the ones where like the Indian Casino, or like when I was there... and we're there for Atlantic City, and Leno was playing the 2,000-seater, and I was playing the 1,000-seater underneath it, or something like that. It was one of those situations. And then, like, I came off stage, and Chris Tucker came off stage, and he was, like, in his room. It wasn't a dressing room. It was like a big room with two doors, you know? And he was in there, and he was with his people and his whatever. And I finished my show, and I was walking off stage, and somebody went, well, Chris Tucker's in there, you know? And I went, oh, I've never met Chris Tucker before. And they said, well, you should go say hi to Chris Tucker. And then I was like, I don't know. It doesn't work. It never works out, right? And I was like, yeah, say hi to Chris Tucker. When was last? You're never going to see the guy again. Go say hi to him. You guys just walked off stage, you know, a couple comedians, couple legendary comedians. Go say hi to him, whatever. And I was like, yeah, you think you okay? And I remember, like, I opened the door, and he was in there wearing like an all-white pleather suit, like white boots and white belt, and the full Eddie Murphy, you know, stand-up leather suit. And he had his like posse all like behind him, and he was like sort of in the middle of the story. And they were kind of, oh yeah, they were yes manning him all the way. And I opened the door, and it was like the needle on the record, you know. It was like, may we dance with your date? No, it was like, Otis, my main man. I like opened the door, and everyone just kind of looked at me and went, whoop, and they just went, huh? And I went, oh yeah, my bad. Yeah. And I closed the door, and they got right back to talking. And I was like, I knew it. That's on me, right? Should have known. And then that's the thing. Number one, you can't go against your instincts. But number two, it's like when you plan a trip and you know that if everything goes right, you're going to land and you're going to have an hour to watch football and then take a nap. As soon as you speak that thing, as soon as you speak the goodness that could happen, you are eliminating it from the possibilities in your life. But here's the thing, Dawson. I don't know, less than a year ago, Mike August walks in here and he goes, oh, you got tickets to UFC? I go, yeah. And he goes, why don't you ask Costner to go with you? Sure. And I go, no, come on, leave the guy alone, Mike.
Because you downplayed it.
Don't bother Kevin Costner.
Yeah, in your mind, there was like, no way that could
call
happen.
Kevin Costner and ask him if he wants to go watch UFC with you. I go, no, come on. He's gonna get angry. Leave him alone. You know, and he's on the fucking set somewhere. Right. He's not gonna. And I call Kevin, next thing you know, we're going to the UFC together. So see, it works. There's many times when I shouldn't have done it, but I don't know which time. That's the whole time.
That's the key right there.
I should have listened.
God, your life would be so much better.
I should have listened to me with the Chris Tucker, but I shouldn't have listened to me with the Kevin Costner.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. All right, let's do one more story.
All right. So Michelle Obama has been accused of taking Ozempic after a photo shoot showing a skinnier figure.
I love the Ozempic controversy. I love how women get angry at Ozempic. They get angry at the women who are on Ozempic. I love that. It's basically, for women, it's the new boob job. It's the women who are flat-chested going, that's not even real. I don't know. Dudes seem to like it. Yeah, but she didn't do that on her own. I know, but she's got dudes buying her drinks. They fucking hate that. This is the new boob job. Because big jugs aren't a thing anymore. But being skinny, always in style. And there's something weird there. I'm going to file her under. I'm going to file her under. I'm going to put Michelle Obama in the Gavin Newsom category in that you can say, well, who's this person and who's that person? Like you go, well, who's Donald Trump? He's in a hurry, he's blustery, he's a blowhard, he's confident, he wants to get shit done. Okay. Whatever. You go, who's that guy? Okay. And then you can kind of go, well, who's Bernie Sanders? And he goes, well, he's kind of a fucking hippie, kibbutz, commune, kind of fucking Russian apologist, but he wants everyone to fucking have everything. I mean, he still likes his tree houses, but whatever.
It's like a Muppet.
Fine. Like who's Al Gore? Well, he's going to talk about the environment. And then you go, well, who's Michelle Obama and who's Gavin Newsom? And I go, I have no fucking idea. Angry, weird, sociopathic, seem to be some sort of creation that's just trying to figure out what's most popular all the time, complaining about everything and never doing anything, like totally ineffective on everything, saying nonsensical things like, hey, don't touch my hair. You wish you touched my hair. It's like, no one wants to touch your hair. Clearly angry, racist, pandering, and weird, but I don't know who they are. You know what I mean? Like, I know who Bernie Sanders is, and I know who... You go, Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, the two... I know who Bill Maher is. I know who these people are. I really don't know who she is, other than she seems angry and a malcontent. We do have Burt Reynolds doing one of her speeches.
Oh, we got to hear this.
I think
she did make a huge big deal about her hair.
Oh,
did you see her hair in that picture? I wonder how much work she put into that hair to have it look like that.
The thing that's funny about her too is I was thinking about it, she's like, America's not ready for a beautiful, tall, strong. It's like, we had Diana Ross in like 1967. We liked her a lot.
Our hair comes out.
All right, hold on. All right, this is Burt Reynolds. I like to put the voice of Burt Reynolds over Gavin Newsom, but we've put it over Michelle Obama talking about her hair.
Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern, so when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim, and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting, and it's so expensive, and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all, so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't.
Just don't.
By the way, in terms of wondering about shit, sorry, bitch. You can't control the wondering part. I wonder about everything all the fucking time. She's literally saying, don't touch my hair. Don't wonder about my hair. Don't talk about my hair.
But she's talking about her hair.
Right. But that's a supreme, insane narcissist that you're dealing with right there. Yeah. So something's wrong with her. I never get why you think Obama would go, listen, I fucking hate this country, and I'm racist as shit, too. I hate white people as well, but reel it in, bitch. I got to go out and fucking, you're all over the internet, people calling you a fucking racist and a douchebag and a narcissist all the time. Like, just fucking reel it in a little bit. You know what I mean? Do something about some program for the kids or something. You know, stop fucking talking about yourself all the time. And people wondering about your hair or wanting, by the way, this thing was like, don't come up and touch could you get within 9 feet of her to touch her hair before Secret Service tackled you to the ground? And who's touched her hair?
No, I tried to walk up to Carlos Santana at the Bay Area Music Awards 20 years ago, and I nearly got tackled.
Oh, really?
I can't imagine what would happen.
You're riding like a 7-beer buzz?
Right, yeah. Hey, I'm going to go talk to Carlos.
Carlos is like one of the only Hispanics with a jerry curl.
Yes.
So I do want to touch his hair.
What? That's what they...
Santana now... Crosby from Crosby, Stills and Nash. I don't know if I wanted to touch what was left of his hair, but I don't know. But Carlos Santana, oh yeah. All right, Dawson, you've done it. Yes.
I got to add one thing to this. I love finding these just wonderful examples of bias in the media. So people are, calling out Michelle Obama for doing Ozempic. They're not saying, "How dare you?" They're saying, let everybody know, be honest about what's going on. Well, it says in this article, the public health advocate, Michelle Obama, the public health advocate's sudden weight loss sparked unfounded speculation.
I love when they do unfounded.
Unfounded. Well, actually, no. If you lose weight rapidly and then do a photo shoot with your brand new skinny body, I don't think that's unfounded.
Well, the other thing about speculation, as we talk about all the time,
by nature, it is unfounded. I don't know.
It's called speculation.
Yeah.
It's called speculation. Now, spectators, let's see, what were the guys who went and looked for the gold? Prospectors and spectators. Spectating is like, here's what I think, but it doesn't mean it happened. But none of it is unfounded. It's like when they go, when they used to write all the Trump articles, and they go, Trump claims he won the election falsely.
Yeah.
No, it's here's Trump is claiming he won the election. I'm claiming I saw Bigfoot. The false or the non-false, that's not part of the story.
Right.
I claim I saw a ghost. Right? You can't go, Adam Carolla falsely claimed he saw a ghost. You go, Adam Carolla claimed he saw a ghost.
Well, if you get
then you can think Adam Carolla's a nut, but you can't say falsely claimed I saw a ghost. I claimed I saw a ghost, or Trump claimed this or did that, and people are speculating that she's on Ozempic. It's not falsely speculating. You can't falsely speculate. You can just speculate.
Exactly.
Yes, I know. So we all know whose side they're on.